You've been saving for months, maybe even years for that dream trip. You've imagined the incredible sights, the amazing food, the adventure of a lifetime. You've scrolled through 1,000 photos, picturing yourself there. But the one thing you didn't picture? Your bank account completely imploding before you're even halfway through your trip. It's a story I hear all the time. Simple rookie mistakes can flip a dream vacation into a stressful nightmare, where you're just constantly worried about money. But it doesn't have to be that way. I've traveled to over 50 countries, mostly on a shoestring budget, and trust me, I've made every single one of these mistakes so you don't have to. In this video, I'm breaking down the 10 most common budget travel blunders, and more importantly, showing you exactly how to avoid them, so your adventure stays affordable and absolutely unforgettable. All right, let's dive into mistake number 1, and it's a classic: overpacking. It seems so harmless, right? You just want to have options. But that giant suitcase is a budget killer in disguise. Low-cost airlines in particular have absolutely brutal fees for checked bags or for luggage that's even a little overweight. Those fees can seriously cost more than your flight. I once watched someone have to pay over $100 at the check-in desk because their bag was a few kilos too heavy. It's a painful, totally avoidable expense that just starts your trip on a sour note. But the cost isn't just about money. Think about hauling that massive suitcase up 4 flights of stairs to your budget-friendly Airbnb or trying to wrestle it onto a crowded train during rush hour. It's exhausting and incredibly stressful. It kills your mobility. You can't just hop on public transport, so you end up paying for pricey taxis. You basically become a target for hassle and lose that freedom to be spontaneous. So, how do you fix this? You have to embrace the art of packing light. My golden rule: lay out everything you think you need, and then put half of it back. I'm serious. Plan your outfits. Create a capsule wardrobe where all your tops go with all your bottoms. Wear your heaviest stuff, like your hiking boots and jacket, on the plane to save space and weight. Use packing cubes. They're a game changer for compressing clothes. And remember, unless you're headed to the absolute middle of nowhere, you can buy toiletries or do laundry on your trip. Adopting that minimalist mindset doesn't just save you from crazy airline fees. It gives you the freedom and flexibility that real travel is all about. The next mistake is a ticking time bomb for your budget and your sanity: booking flights with dangerously short layovers. You're scrolling through flight options, and that 45-minute connection looks so tempting. It's faster. You'll get there sooner. But this is a rookie gamble that almost never pays off. Airlines will show you these tight connections, but they don't factor in a tiny 20-minute delay, a long taxi on the runway, or your next gate being in a completely different terminal. And when it goes wrong, it's a total nightmare. You're sprinting through the airport, heart pounding, only to see your gate door closing. Now what? If you miss a connection because of an airline delay, sure, they'll put you on the next available flight. But available is the key word. On busy routes, the next flight with an open seat might be tomorrow. Suddenly, you're facing a domino effect of costs: a last-minute hotel at an inflated airport price, extra meals, and losing out on a prepaid, non-refundable hotel night or tour at your destination. It's a massive, stressful ordeal that was so easy to avoid. The solution is simple: give yourself a buffer. My rule of thumb: always give yourself at least 2 hours for a domestic connection, and at least 3 for an international one. This gives you time to deplane, walk to your next gate, which could be miles away, maybe go through security or passport control again, and absorb any small delays. And if there are no delays, great. You have time to grab a coffee, stretch your legs, and stroll to your gate without breaking a sweat. That peace of mind is worth so much more than the hour you thought you were saving. This next one is maybe the most common mistake of all, and it's sneaky because it doesn't happen all at once. It's death by 1,000 cuts. I'm talking about traveling without a clear daily budget. You tell yourself, oh, I'll just be careful. But being careful isn't a plan. A coffee here, a souvenir there, a slightly nicer lunch. These little, untracked purchases snowball so fast. Before you know it, you're halfway through your trip and you've torched 75% of your cash. It's a sickening feeling that leads to panic and forces you to miss out on things for the rest of your trip. Not having a daily budget is like trying to navigate a new city blindfolded. You're just wandering around hoping for the best. This lack of a financial game plan is the #1 reason travelers overspend. It means you're making decisions based on impulse, and impulse decisions are almost always more expensive. The fix is simple, but it's a game changer. Give every day a number. Before you leave, do a little research on your destination to get a realistic daily cost for food, transport, and fun. Let's say you land on $50 a day. That's it. That's your guide. Each day, you know you have $50 to play with. If you spend $60 one day on an amazing tour, you know you need to aim for a $40 day tomorrow to balance it out. This simple act of tracking turns your spending from a vague, anxiety-filled mystery into a manageable game. Use a notes app, a tiny notebook, or a budget app. Track every single purchase. It might feel tedious for a day or two, but taking 30 seconds to log that $3 gelato gives you an incredible sense of control and ensures your money lasts for the entire trip. Mistake number 4 is one I really need you to listen to, because way too many travelers think they're saving a few bucks by doing this, skipping travel insurance. The logic is usually, it's just an extra expense, and what are the chances something actually goes wrong? This is a massive, potentially life-altering gamble. Thinking of travel insurance as an optional extra is one of the biggest mistakes you can possibly make. It's not an expense. It's a non-negotiable safety net. Let's be real. So many things can derail your trip that are completely out of your control. You could get sick and have to cancel. The airline could lose your luggage. Or, worst case scenario, you could have a medical emergency in another country. A simple accident like falling off a scooter or getting severe food poisoning can lead to hospital bills in the tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. A medical evacuation could literally put you in debt for life. Your health insurance from back home? It most likely provides zero coverage overseas. The solution is to always, always, always buy travel insurance. As soon as you book your flights, buy your insurance. That way you're covered for trip cancellation if something happens before you even go. The cost of a policy is nothing compared to the financial ruin of one bad incident. A good policy covers medical emergencies, trip cancellation, lost baggage, flight delays, all of it. It is the single best investment you can make for your peace of mind while traveling. Don't even think about leaving home without it. It's the difference between a manageable problem and a full-blown crisis. All right, we're at the halfway point. If these tips are already giving you some aha moments for your next trip, and you want to learn how to travel the world smarter, not harder, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post videos just like this regularly to help you make your travel dreams a reality without having to empty your bank account. It really helps the channel out. Now, let's get back to the mistakes. This next mistake is a perfect example of a false economy. Booking your hotel or Airbnb way outside the city center just because the nightly rate looks cheaper. You see a room for $20 or less per night, and you think you've just scored a huge deal. But this saving is usually an illusion that ends up costing you more, not just in money, but in your precious vacation time. Let's do the math on these so-called savings. First, transportation. You're going to spend a good chunk of money every single day on buses, on trains, or expensive Ubers just to get to the places you actually want to see. That $20 you saved on the room? Gone in a single round-trip taxi fare. Then there's the time cost. An hour commuting in, an hour commuting out. That's 2 hours of your vacation vanished every single day. On a 5-day trip, that's 10 hours you could have spent in a museum, enjoying a long dinner, or getting lost in a cool neighborhood. You also lose all spontaneity. You can't just pop back to your room for a quick nap or to change before going out. You become a slave to a bus schedule. The solution is to make a central location a priority, even if it looks a little more expensive up front. When you stay in the heart of the action, you can walk almost everywhere. That's not only free, but it's one of the best ways to actually experience a city's vibe. The money you save on transport can easily offset the slightly higher room cost. Look for well-reviewed hostels, guest houses, or budget hotels in central, walkable areas. By staying central, you save money, you save a ton of time, and you have a richer, more spontaneous, and way more enjoyable trip. There is nothing that drains your wallet and disappoints your taste buds faster than this next trap: eating every single meal in the main tourist zones. You're standing in the main square, you're hungry, and you see a restaurant with a big, flashy sign and menus in 5 languages. It feels easy, it feels safe, but it's a huge mistake. Restaurants in those prime spots often serve overpriced, low-quality food because they don't need repeat customers. There's always a new wave of tourists. You end up paying top dollar for a forgettable meal, and completely miss out on the real food culture. Think about it. Do the locals eat at the restaurant with the giant photo of a cheeseburger right next to the Eiffel Tower? Of course not. They know where to find the food that is delicious, authentic, and fairly priced. Finding those places is the difference between just eating and truly experiencing a destination. The solution is so simple. Just walk a few blocks away. Get off the main tourist drag and start exploring the side streets and residential neighborhoods. That's where you find the hidden gems. Look for restaurants that are busy and filled with locals. A line of local people out the door is the best review you can get. Look for places with handwritten menus or menus only in the local language. That's a great sign they're cooking for locals, not a watered-down tourist version. Ask your hostel receptionist or your Airbnb host for their favorite spot. Embrace street food from busy vendors. It's often the best and cheapest food you'll have. And don't forget local markets. Grab some fresh bread, cheese, and fruit for an amazing picnic in a park. By putting in just a little effort to escape the tourist traps, you'll save a ton of money and have the most memorable meals of your trip. In today's world, this next mistake can lead to one of the most painful post-vacation surprises you can get: not having a plan for your mobile data. So many travelers just forget about roaming fees or assume they won't be that bad. They land, their phone connects to a local network, and they start using maps and posting photos just like they do at home. What they don't realize is that international roaming charges can be insane. I'm talking several dollars for a single megabyte. A few minutes of scrolling on Google Maps can literally become a $100 mistake. People have come home to phone bills in the thousands. It happens. Even if you're trying to be careful, apps can use data in the background without you even knowing it, silently racking up charges. And just relying on public Wi-Fi is a gamble too. It's never there when you're lost and actually need it, and public networks can be unsecured, putting your personal info at risk. The solution is to figure out your data plan before you need it. First, you can check with your home carrier to see if they have any decent international add-ons. But the better, cheaper option is usually to either buy a local SIM card when you arrive, or, my personal favorite, use a prepaid eSIM. An eSIM is a digital SIM card you can buy and install on your phone before you even leave home. Companies like Airalo, Holafly, or Saley have affordable data packages for pretty much every country. You pick a plan for your trip length, you're connected the second you land, and there is zero chance of a surprise bill. It's a simple step that completely removes the stress of insane roaming fees. This next mistake is a huge budget drain that so many people don't even realize they're making, automatically paying for activities, when there are tons of incredible free alternatives. Many travelers think that to really experience a city, you have to pay for tours, museum tickets, and guided everything. And while some paid attractions are definitely worth it, you can often have a richer, more authentic experience by taking advantage of all the free things every city has to offer. The real culture of a place isn't always inside a ticketed attraction. It's in its public spaces, its neighborhoods, and the daily life of its people. Spending all your money on entry fees can actually isolate you from that. So what's the secret? A little bit of research. Before you go, just do a quick search for free things to do in your city. You'll be amazed at what you find. Most major cities have free walking tours where a local guide gives you a fantastic overview, and you just tip what you feel it was worth. Many world-class museums have free admission days or evenings. Explore public parks, which often host free concerts or events. Wander through a city's street art scene, get lost in different neighborhoods, and browse the local markets. By building these free activities into your trip, you not only save a huge amount of money, but you also connect with the city on a much deeper level. Mistake number 9 can lead to some serious disappointment, frustration, and surprise costs. Failing to read recent reviews and the fine print before you book anything. It's so easy to be seduced by professional photos and a slick website. You book a hotel that looks like a 5-star paradise, only to arrive and find it's dingy and in a terrible location. You book a tour that promises the world, but it turns out to be a rushed, overcrowded tourist trap. This happens when you don't do your homework, and the fine print is just as dangerous. Not reading the terms and conditions can demolish your budget. You might get slammed with hidden resort fees or cleaning fees. You might book a cheap flight only to realize its cancellation policy is basically tough luck. Or you book a tour without noticing that the main attraction's entry fee isn't even included. These are all common traps. The fix here is to basically become a detective. Never book anything without reading recent reviews from multiple sources. Check different booking sites and travel blogs to get the full picture. Pay close attention to what people say about cleanliness, location, and if the experience actually matched what was advertised. For the fine print, hunt for words like cancellation, extra fees, and not included. A few minutes of reading up front can save you from a massive headache and a lot of wasted money. Trust the experiences of other travelers and always know exactly what you're agreeing to before you click that book button. We've arrived at the final mistake, and honestly, it's the big one, because it's the root cause of so many of the others. A general lack of research and planning. I know some people love the idea of just winging it, and while spontaneity is one of the best parts of travel, showing up in a new country with zero knowledge is a recipe for wasting time, money, and missing out. Poor planning shows up in a lot of ways. You book a flight into a budget airport without realizing it's a 2-hour, $50 train ride from the city you're actually trying to visit. You show up at a world-famous museum only to find out it's closed on Mondays. You waste half a day just trying to figure out the local bus system, or you completely miss a huge festival happening 2 blocks away because you just didn't know about it. These aren't adventurous mishaps. They are unforced errors that drain your budget and your precious vacation time. Now, the solution isn't to create a rigid, minute-by-minute spreadsheet for your trip. It's about building a solid framework. Use guidebooks, travel blogs, and YouTube to understand the basics of your destination. Learn the different neighborhoods, figure out the best way to get from the airport to your hotel, and make a short list of your absolute must-see sites and their opening hours. Research local customs and common scams. Having a basic plan empowers you to make smart decisions on the fly and frees up your mental energy to actually enjoy the spontaneous moments, instead of being constantly stressed about logistics. A little planning goes a very long way. So there you have it, the 10 most common budget travel mistakes that can turn a dream into a headache. From overpacking and risky layovers to skipping insurance and not doing your homework, these are the pitfalls that get so many travelers. But the good news is, every single one of them is completely avoidable. By packing light, planning your key logistics, setting a daily budget, eating smart, and doing a little research, you take control. You stop being a stressed-out tourist and become a savvy, confident traveler. Traveling on a budget doesn't mean your trip has to be cheap or uncomfortable. In fact, it often leads to richer, more authentic, and more memorable journeys. It forces you to connect with a place and its people in a way you never would otherwise. I hope these tips help you save money and travel better. All right, now it's your turn. What are your absolute best budget travel tips? Or what's the biggest money mistake you've ever made on a trip? Share it in the comments below. Let's help each other travel smarter. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.